Last time out on our Almeria DOF save, I was having a bit of a crisis of confidence. I was feeling a bit lost. I felt like after finishing 4th, well off the pace of Real Madrid and Barcelona and the top teams in La Liga, I felt like maybe we'd reached our ceiling. Had I taken Almeria as far as I could as the DOF, but after some comments from you guys, after some nice messages on Twitter, after some lovely messages on Patreon too, and after selling a player for massive money, which we'll get into, I feel like, and whisper it quietly, I feel like we might be back. Hello and welcome back to the Almeria DOF save, where we've sold Nuno Freitas. You've probably seen it in the thumbnail and you've maybe guessed it from the title as well, but we've sold one of our main men. It's sort of part of this save and I've made the decision to go and do, well, actually it was taken out of my hands because PSG have paid his release clause of £150 million and Freitas has joined PSG in France. He was an unbelievable player for us. He didn't have the best season last year, but it wasn't our best season anyway. With our move to the 4-4-2, I actually feel like this is a good sale. I know, I mean, he's unbelievable. He's so good looking at him, isn't he? But he's not a central midfielder. He's definitely more of a 10. And if we're going to persevere and continue with this 4-4-2 with our manager, Johan Dumont, in charge, actually getting this amount of money is going to take us to the next level. Hopefully, because of course we looked at the finances last episode and we needed to sell players to be able to bring some players in. This has allowed us to do this. So goodbye. It's a fond farewell to Nuno Freitas, who is now not for sale for them. He's only 24. He's going to be one of the best players on the game. Look at his attributes. They're so good. He's already got 3 goals and 7 assists for them in the first half of the season as well, which, by the way, is where we're currently at. It's the 31st of December. We're heading into the January transfer window. Just about halfway through our season. I'm going to show you how we've done. I'm going to show you the players that I bought using the Freitas money. And I will show you how we're going to set up the team, or how Johan Dumont, who is still our manager, has been setting up our team in the first half of this season. Is it season 5? I think it's season 5 here at Almeria. And I'm hoping it's going to be a big one for us. Let me show you what I mean by that. And here are some of those transfers then. I've highlighted them on this screen here. From Nesta Grande down to Jose Guimarães, who is a youngster. The 2 free transfers at the bottom there, kind of ignore those. They were players that came through our youth intake that then got released because I forgot to offer them a contract and then realised that they're okay, so I offer them a contract afterwards. They're pretty good. We haven't had a great amount of luck really with our youth intake so far, but these 2 look like they might be okay, as well as one player that's now in the first team, which I will show you too. Salou Sacco is his name, and I'll show you him once we get to that as well when we go through the squad. But Guimarães and Mikel Exteberia are 2 that came in. This was before the tick over as well, so there's a couple of extra transfer bits of business that we'll look at too. But these were the main players we spent the Nuno Freitas money on. It was 20 million rising to 30 million for the first guy, which was Nesta Grande. Say hello and welcome to a new central defender from Argentina. He's 23. He cost us that £20 million, could be £30 million by the end of it. He's already played 17 games for us. He comes in to play on the right-hand side of defence. He's not the biggest or the tallest. He's either-footed, though, can play on both sides. He's very strong left foot, very strong right foot. Prefers, well, he doesn't have a preference, so he can play on either side, which I thought was quite useful. Loads of potential too. I think he's going to improve, although his potential doesn't look amazing there, but I think that's maybe gone down from before. I expect him to get a little bit better anyway, but he's already quite good. And for the money we pay, quite happy with him coming in. He was one of them. There's another one that before the tick over. Let's just put these back on here. Then there were 2 more. Now, in fact, let's start with Amin Hamouche, who is a left back. Outrageously weird hair going on there. I didn't quite realize it was going to look like that, but it's a bit out of control here. Come on, Amin. Can we get a hairbrush? Is that what he needs here? I quite like it though. It's a bit of character to him. Amin Hamouche is a left back. He's a new gen. This is a generated face, by the way. He is going to be our starting left back now that Jose Gaia has moved on. We needed a left back. It was one of our targets that we talked about in the last video. This guy, I think he's just really, really solid. He's already a really, really good footballer. He signed from Sochaux, I believe it was, in France. No, it's from Villa. He was on loan at Sochaux last year. We signed him from Villa for £23 million. Could go up to 40, but then I think that's still going to present a bargain. This is why we need to sell those players for those massive fees, because you can sign players like this, which ordinarily we just wouldn't be able to afford. We needed to bring the money in to go and buy people. Hamouche is going to be our left back. He's going to be our starting left back, and I think he looks really, really good. Let me know what you think of him down this left-hand side. But 2, I think, solid signings so far. And finally, before the tick over, we did sign one more, which was this man here, Erwan Betrancourt. He's a French winger. I say winger, he kind of has to fit in as a winger because we don't play with a 10, but he can play right midfield. He is, I mean, he's already an established footballer. He's on a massive wage because there wasn't a lot of players that we could sign to play right mid. And I wanted to do so because before we were playing Romeo Lavia there, with this 4-4-2, I think it's easy to find wingers, not necessarily as easy to find these right mids. And Betrancourt could play there, and I think he's got good attributes for it, especially as a winger here. Look, just his crossing's a little bit low, but I'm not sure how important that is. He's got he's got okay acceleration, but good pace. Great fitness, which I think is better for these players that play a little bit deeper here. Maybe they get up a little bit more and get back a little bit more, I should say, as well. Great technique, good work rate, good off the ball. I think he's a good player, and we've signed him for £38 million. It could go to 62, but £38 million for a player that is coming from PSG, where he's played football as well. Look, he was a starter, well, not necessarily a starter. He played 15 times or started 15 times in the league, but he's playing for PSG, so he's got a bit of calibre about him. Just, you have to believe me that he's one of the better players that we could find to play right midfield, and I think he's going to be good for us there. He's much better fit than Romeo Lavia was as a right mid anyway. He comes in on that side, and then there were some extra outs as well, which I want to show you. We're going to go through the transfers first, then I'll show you the team, and then I'll show you how we've done in this first half of the season, which I'm very excited about. Like I said before, I think we're back. There's the sale of Freitas there, look. We also did sell Andre Lucas Gudjonsson. Gudjonsson, his dad's not here anymore. He's now the manager of Levante, which I thank you for the comment. Whoever left me the comment saying you should make Gudjonsson the actual manager at Levante. I have done that since here, which if I go on to here, I could show you. There's his father, look. Gudjonsson is now, I've used the editor to make him the actual manager at Levante. I've only done it recently, but there he is, look. He is now, well, he's gone, and so is Gudjonsson, who's gone to Hanover for £2.7 million, I think it was. Yep. We also finally sold Keiki, who's been here for a very long time, but now he's moved on for not very much money at all. Campagna, the young Spanish defender, Spanish centre-back, has moved on a free, and we've loaned out Robin Bertrand for another year. Still very young, only 20 years old. He's hopefully starting games. Is he starting games? He's playing games for sure for Vallecano in the second division in France, Spain, which is where he was before as well. So there we go. Those ones are done. And then there was one more signing to make. And I think I found a bargain with this one. It was after the tick over. Look, once we got to here, Cesar Pamplona. I think this one, I'm most excited about this one, I think. Cesar, look, in our midfield and could play at centre-back as well. He's 6'1", so can definitely be a ball-playing defender if we wanted him to be. I think just in our midfield, I think this guy could play a lot of games. He's Brazilian, but is also half... No, he's not, actually. He's just Brazilian, so he is a non-EU player for us, which we have got space for. We had none left because all of the ones that were non-EU became homegrown or became able to be registered as an they're not non-EU players anymore. Anyway, we had spaces, so he's one of them. But look at this for a bargain. He had a release clause of £16.5 million, and I wasn't necessarily looking for another player, but when I found this guy, I thought we kind of have to do it. He's got potential to improve as well. Only 21. He's played a lot of games already. 16 games, look. They are 11 starts in the league. He's getting his game, and hopefully that means he continues to develop. As you see his attributes going up here. Cesar Pamplona. I think we've reinvested the money nicely. I think it actually makes us stronger, especially when you think about the tactic that we're using, the formation we're using. I think we're stronger now without Freitas, even though losing a player as good as Freitas is obviously going to be a loss, isn't it? We also then did some extra outs, most of them loans though. Jan Henkel's gone for another loan. He is developing over at Nottingham Forest. I think he's just got a really bad injury, actually. He has, indeed. He's torn his calf muscle recently playing for Forest in the Championship, which is a real blow because look how he's doing. He's a midfielder or a 10 in behind the strikers. He's got 8 goals, 7 assists, 7.3 average rating, 24 games, 24 starts for them already. A real breakout season for Jan Henkel, who could be great for us in the future. But that injury, I'm hoping it doesn't put him back too much. Other players out on loan, Aaron Yilmaz, developing nicely at Freiburg. How many games has he played? He's played 13, got 2 goals. Antoine Chevalier is now at Las Palmas. He's played 18 games for them. Starting games nicely as well, which is always good. It means they're developing. Again, a real player with actual potential if you look at his profile there. And then a couple more. We sold Daniel Sanchez for 600k. 6'5" centre-back who I think came through the youth intake here. And was never... I mean, he's actually pretty good, but he was never going to be good enough. especially at 24 years old. And then finally, the big striker, Dries Maz, has gone on loan to Huddersfield, where I'm hoping he's scoring goals. He's played 4 games and scored 1, not quite getting into their team yet. That was 1 start as well. So might need to recall him and see if we can get him a different loan now that we're heading into January. But that's the transfer business. A lot of business done. And as I mentioned before, I think we've improved ourselves. I'll show you how the squad looks as it all fits together. And you can also see some stats as well of how they've been doing in this first half of the season. Before I reveal how we're actually doing, and maybe, just maybe, we'll look at some, should we watch some highlights today? Let's have a look at some of the goals and some of the matches and things. Let's go through the games like that, because lots of you are asking, are we going to see some gameplay? Let's watch some matches as well today. But let me show you now the squad and how it's been doing, how it fits together. Okay, so I've popped them into here, what I think is Johan Dumont's 4-4-2 system, the best that I can represent anyway. Obviously, the roles might be slightly different, but let's just go through them. I feel I'm going to do this quite quickly, but I think it is important to see how everybody fits in, especially when we've got new players coming in. So I'm going to do this one for today. Colon keeper, Fernandez and Hamouche are the fullbacks. Hamouche slotting in at left wing back or left back as probably a fullback. In fact, let's check what is the role that he's been playing as. It is as a fullback, look, at left fullback. And then Perez as the left-sided defender, probably our best defender right now. Obviously, we lost Bruno Antonacci to Manchester City. He's really good. He's now 23, the Chilean, and looking like a good defender. He then can rotate with players like Nesta Grande, and also on the bench down here, if I scroll down, we've got Svoboda, who can come in if we need to. He's played a couple of games, or a few games actually this year, 4 starts in the league as well, the youngster. I think he's got a really big ceiling, Svoboda. I'd like to see him start lots of games, and I'm glad that he's getting some starts this year. We've also got, if you need to, Pamplona could drop in and play centre-back as well. He's been playing mainly as a midfielder, though. If I show you his form on here, central midfielder, almost exclusively, except for 1 game here against Bratislava, where he started as a defender. So that is Pamplona in the midfield, which we'll move to. Betrancourt on the right-hand side, Marino on the left-hand side. Those are just pretty much straight into the team now. The rotation options for those are, if you look down, probably Lavia as a right midfielder. Alejandro could do, although he's left-footed. We've got Aguilar, who hasn't played a lot of games and is having his contract expire in the summer. He is left-footed as well, which doesn't really fit here. He's one that we're probably going to lose. I might try and sell him in January, but I think his time might be up. He was a really good rotation squad option. For the 5 mil we paid for him, I think he's been a really good option for us, Aguilar. I will pop back in on this right-hand side here. Betrancourt, he goes in there. And on the left-hand side, Marina, same story really with Valentin Geffroy, who again has been a great option for us, but is having his contract expire in the summer too. I don't think I'm going to give him another one. We'll see what type of money I can get out of Sevilla or Valencia. Maybe out of the 2 of them, he's more likely to stay, but I think I might try and sell both. And we'll see what money we can get in. The wages saved is the big one there, isn't it? If we save some wages, we might be able to replace them with some cheap young Wonderkids, which is kind of the premise of what we're trying to do here. In the middle, we've got Moretti, Pamplona. We also have Lavia. We also have Guidotti, who I wanted to show you because I think he's got huge potential. The fact that we got him for £1.9 million is so good. And then he went on a decent loan last year, played 29 games in the top division in Spain too, which is always good. He's played 11 games this year for us, only 3 starts, but got himself 2 goals and played well in those games as well. I do wonder, he's not being used that much. Could we afford to loan him for the second half of the season? Is it going to give him a little bit more in terms of his development if we loan him out? Let me know in the comments actually what you would do with him. Do you think Guidotti needs a loan? Because he's got up arrows and this is a good thing, but they do go up quite quickly when you do loan them out. And we do have players like, if I just scroll down here, in fact, where am I? There he is. Look, Hedwig Kopp could also just be the backup in that position, which I think he's a good midfielder at 20 years old himself. Does he need it? Oh, maybe we loan him instead. I'm going to think about it and I'll let you know what I do. But in terms of trying to develop these players, it is quite a fine art to try and get the most out of all of them. That's our midfield. Those are our midfield options. Is there anybody I need to mention in here? I don't think so. Those are just going back to right back, Malta Ulig, who we've loaned now for 2 seasons in a row and has played a lot of games actually as a backup right back. His contract is expiring. I've offered him a contract, look, to try and sign him when his contract expires. I'm just going to offer that to him again there. He hopefully joins us permanently for free, which I think would be a nice bit of business, actually. And then up front, if we move through, Chaves Carretera, the main man, still scoring goals, still getting better at football, by the way. He's 24 now. He's got himself 12 goals in 16 games, 7.48 average rating, which is his best season so far, actually. 3 assists, 4 player of the matches. a great strike partner to Duvan Baldovino, who's getting himself goals this year. He's developing. He's 24 now. 8 in 12 in the league. 7.52 is his average rating. Two of them up front are scoring loads of goals, and they're really, really good. And I'm not mentioning it too much because just to mention actually quickly, we've had an injury recently to Baldovino. He's almost back from it. Alejandro was starting up front as the striker option there. He's got 3 goals. He's got 9, well, he's had 12 starts, 9 sub appearances. You see the other appearances from the players on the bench here who's been getting into the game. I've been holding off on it. Been talking very positively about this squad, haven't I? And the reason for that is because we're having a really, really good season. We're second in the league, and we could, if we win our game in hand, which is against Bilbao here. Look, we have the early kickoff. But do you know what? Maybe we'll do it as a live com just to see this team getting on. Maybe. I'll decide that. I don't want the video to be too long, is also the thing here. If we win our game in hand, we're only a point off Real Madrid at the top of this league. We've lost 3 games and drawn 1. We've won 13 of our first 17 games this season. We're having a great time of it. It's why I feel rejuvenated. It's why I feel like this save could go to the next level from here, especially if we could maybe sell one of those other players for massive money and reinvest it as we've done this summer. There's life in this save yet, isn't there? Our form has been really, really good. It started, do you know what? It started unbelievably. Let's watch the goals in the first game of the season. We beat Atletico Madrid at home so comprehensively. Look, the 4-4-2, there it is. Look, with Lavia playing right mid on this one, Betancourt playing in the centre mid. That has happened a few times. We beat them 3-1. Should we just watch the goals here? Because goals from Chavez Carretero and Baldovino, our boys were scoring the goals. We started unbelievably, and I think it was a real marker of how good this team can be this season. And second in the league so far. I'm very, very happy with it. Let's have a look at the goals here. First one that's very quick look as Chavez Carretero goes through on goal. Why are we going? I don't want it that quick. We go quite quick. Carretero around the keeper and slotting home. We're also behind the goal. I think I must have been watching a penalty or something behind there. Let's go to there, look. Chavez Carretero with the first. They equalised with this goal here from Eschen. Past Colon in the goal there, but then we went and scored. We got quite speedy here. Betancourt into Baldovino, so an assist for Betancourt there. And then finally, Chavez Carretero with the final goal there. I do like to watch some of the highlights too, I suppose. What a start, and it continued. I don't need to click on all of them. 3-1 win, 4-1 win, 5-2 win, all in the league. 2-1 win over Gijón in the League 2. A draw in the Champions League, which is the one area where we're not doing as well. If I show you the Champions League group so far, we're down in 23rd. There's a couple of games to go before this round is over. We play Inter. Before that, we play Feyenoord, I believe. No, it's Milan is the next game. I swear we play Feyenoord. Did we just play Feyenoord? We're not guaranteed to go through here. We need to make sure we sneak into this, at least this playoff spot here. The Champions League has been a bit of a weird one so far. I'll show you the results here. Look, we drew to Valencia in the league. We beat Elche. Come on, Duvan Baldovino with both goals in that one. Look at the run of form he went on. First of all, Chavez Carretero scored in the first 3 games of the season. Then Baldovino scored in 4 games on the trot before a 0-0 draw with Celtic here. Then he scored, actually, if we go to in the league, he scored in 1, 2, 3, 4 on the trot in the league. And then Carretero takes over. They kind of take it in turns to go on these really good goal-scoring runs. We did beat Young Boys there. Lost to Real Madrid. They're still a good team. Do you know what? I'll show you the stats on this one because I feel like we're quite close to them often. Not on this occasion, though. They did dominate us. Look, that Real Madrid team is a joke. Look at it. With Schumann in there, Guardiol, our former guy there. Is that Singo playing centre mid? It's Wilfred Singo playing as a centre back there, which seems odd to me, but there he is. It's because who's playing right back for them? Vanderson is there playing right back for them. But they're a very good team. They beat us on that occasion, but didn't let it stop us. We still continued some good form. We beat Getafe, beat Villarreal, who we know how good Villarreal were last season, and basically throughout this save or our time at Almeria here. We beat them 2-0 away from home. Quite comfortably, actually. Let's watch the Baldovino goal because I don't think we've seen... I think you want to see more of him. Duvan, who I've given them a 99, by the way, just because I think it's quite cool, isn't it? He is scoring goals this year. This was his goal against Villarreal. Hamouche out wide to Marina, into Baldovino, into the back of the net. 2-0 win there. And then we had our bit of poor form. If it wasn't for this spell here in November, through from the game against Ajax where we lost in the Champions League up until a 4-1 loss to Mallorca. If it wasn't for these games here, there was an odd 2-0 win against Osasuna in there. But The rest of them, I lost to Malaga 2-0 away from home. I lost to or draw to Arsenal at home. And then this 4-1 loss to Mallorca. I don't know what happened here. We were 1-0 up and then we just capitulated in the second half. I don't know if we were tired. I don't know if it was just a freak result because they scored 4 goals from 8 shots on target from 8 shots. It was a weird one. But we lost 4-1 and this felt like the low point of the season. I was worried that after an amazing start, we're going to throw it away. But then we did bounce back and beat Barcelona 2-1. And then we've kind of recovered from here. Look at this for a win. Snatch and grab a little bit. A goal from Chavez Carretero. A goal from Guidotti, who I think started this game in central midfield. He got himself a goal. Should we have a look at his goal? I did want to show you the goals, didn't I? So let's have a look at his goal here. Their goal was a bit of a late consolation, really. Gorna Duarth with the 92nd minute consolation. We deserved this win, even though we didn't have all of the match, but we scored the goals to give us the win there. Guidotti with that finish there. Has he got number 10? Did I give him number 10? I mean, that was I do remember doing that now. I've got high hopes for this guy. He's only 20, scoring goals against Barcelona, and that was almost the final result before I'm recording this here today. We drew to Feyenoord. There's that Champions League game. We beat Sevilla, and you know, it's quite nice actually because we started with a win against Atletico Madrid. We finish up with a 1-0 win against Atletico Madrid away from home this time, which we probably is a very tight game. We maybe just about deserved it just on the quality of the chances created according to the XG. Let's finish off by looking at this Chavez Carretero goal as we beat Atletico for the second time this season. Lavia through to him, smashed home by UCC, our hero of this save. By the way, in fact, I say hero of the save. Let me just talk about how good Matthew Colon is, by the way. What a man. We've got him locked down on a contract until 2035, another 4-year deal, and a potential for another 3 years that we can give him after that. He is by far the best goalie on the game. Look how good I love him. He is so good. I think a few people said you could sell him and probably get really good money, but I think we just keep him. His value is only like 90 million anyway, which is obviously a lot, but I think it's worth just keeping him. This is the run-in from here. We play both Milan teams, Inter and Milan, look in the Champions League, to hopefully go through there. Can we have a better run in the Champions League? I'd like to. Can we win this Super Cup? Can we keep it going in the league? Can we get close to Real Madrid this year? I'm not expecting to win the league. I'm expecting to have a little patch where we lose some form like we did in November. But if we can get close to them, it will give me a lot of belief that we can hopefully do some good recruitment for next season, and maybe, just maybe, before the end of this save, we can win this Spanish league, because I feel like that would be a huge, huge achievement with the way that we're playing the save and with how good Real Madrid are. I feel like that's become my new aim. I think we might finish this if we win either the league or, in more of a long shot, the Champions League. What do you guys reckon? Hopefully you're all still enjoying this. Sorry for no video last week, just life things getting in the way, but thank you so much for all of your feedback to let me know that you are still enjoying this and you actually enjoy the challenge of it. I'm still loving it. I'll leave you by having a look at the squad here. I'm going to go and play the rest of this season before the next video, but thank you so much for watching today. Let me know if you have any questions as well, by the way. I quite like jumping into the save and I can respond with little screenshots and things in the comments too. Let me know if there are any questions and I will get you all caught up to date in the next one. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this. We're pushing towards 50,000 subscribers. Join the Patreon if you want to support a little bit more. Thank you to everyone who's joined there recently. Your name will be at the end of this video. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day, though. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.